But some of you right now, you've got it in your mind, the only way I can progress is if I get a partner. Oh, but friend, you need something bigger than a partner to pull you out of this season where you feel like you're stuck. Guess what you need? You don't need a partner, you need a God-given purpose. You need something stronger to pull you from the place where you feel like you're stuck.
Life situations is to use the illustration of the seasons. Number one, you cannot change the seasons until you get your own planet. All of this has been set in motion. But here's the next piece of information. You can change yourself. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Life and business is like the changing seasons. Frank Sinatra sang, life is like the seasons. First, learn how to survive the winter. Speaking of life in its simplest aspect, the first key to learn in your life on the spinning planet is to learn how to survive. Now, there's all kinds of winters, right? The winter of the calendar, right? The winter of the actual season. But then there's financial winters and social winters, personal winters. But we understand those because we've all been through them. Now, here's the key on the winters. Some are long and some are short. Some are easy and some are tough. But they always come right after harvest, right after fall, autumn. So we cannot rearrange the coming of the winters. But here's what we could do. Get stronger, wiser, and better so that we can survive better. And our life will be less eroded by learning to handle the next winter. The next winter of a divorce, the next winter of an illness, the next winter of a death in the family, the next winter of a loss financially, the next winter of a crisis of whatever kind, to be better equipped. So here's the key, to learn the seasons so that you can approach it all in a very intelligent way. So you must think negative when it's possible. You must think winter when it's summer. Here's some of the best advice. It comes from classic tradition. A great story says, don't build your house on the sand in the summer.
And I think we live in a world that doesn't know the difference between the public moments and the private moments. I think we're increasingly becoming, and this is just my old man rant, so please let me do it right now, because like I said, I'm a parent now, and I'm so scared for my kids who are growing up in a world where now they're growing up publicly. Everybody has their own broadcast journalism degree called Twitter. Everybody has a license to express their own opinion. And the phrase that got me is what his brother said. They want to convince him. They say, you got to get out of Galilee. This is too remote. This is not the right place for you to become a public figure.
This is what I found out being a professional alone person. It's okay to be alone. I get over 1,000 messages every single day. And a lot of people write to me saying, Ralph, I just can't seem to find anybody I can get on with. And I don't like it. It's okay to be alone. The reason why a lot of people experience a lot of loneliness is because they are in resistance to being alone. Because being alone is frightening to the majority of the human race. You got to be with yourself. You got to go within. A lot of stuff is going to come out. That's why a lot of us, we want to always be with friends. But if you continue just to follow the crowd, you will only go as far as the crowd.
When you're at the top, when you're an owner or you're the leader, there's times where you have to do things by yourself. There's no doubt about that. And if you have a problem with that, you're going to have a problem being in a leadership position. Because there's things that you have to do as a leader. You have to lead from the front. You have to work harder. You have to do extra. And if you're not, that's not good. And if you're working harder, there's going to be times when you're not with anyone else. And you have to be okay with that.
That's what that expression means, it's lonely at the top. Meaning, like, you're at the top because you're willing to behave or be a certain way that other people either can't or won't, right?
From that perspective, you're definitely lonely at the top. Yeah. There's no one that's going to sit there and do what I'm willing to do to be there. Like, where are you at? I don't know. Haven't seen you.
If you want any value at all come harvest, you gotta press, you gotta be bold. The high life is not for the timid and the shy. Some people mistake timidity for humility. Humility is a virtue. Timidity is a disease. Humility is almost godlike word. A sense of awe, a sense of wonder, a sense of understanding the distance in worth, an awareness of the human soul, the spirit, something unique about the human drama versus the rest of life. A grasp of the distance between us and the stars, and yet having the feeling that we're part of the stars. It's okay to dream, but we must not just become a dreamer. Be proud, but not arrogant. It takes pride to win the day. It takes pride in company, opportunity. It takes pride in group, organization. It takes pride in cause and accomplishment. But the key is to be proud without being arrogant.
If you want the audacity to be successful, don't you understand the crap that comes along with that? Like, I wanted the audacity to be in shape. It's come with a lot of crap. It's been a lot of work. You deal with it because it's a very small price to pay for all the phenomenal stuff that you headline read and you aspire to and you dream for. The problem is most of you don't want to eat that shit to get there.
Analyze where you are. Go into your store. What's in here? What's old? What's decaying? What stinks? Okay, what's that over there? Negative attitude. Gotta get rid of that one. Negative people. We can't hang anymore. You got to go. You can't do this anymore. Fear. Come out of there. What's over there in the corner? Procrastination. What's over there? Okay, bad attitude. All that stuff. Get out of there. Throw it out. It's good to go. And what do I need? What do I need to get me from where I am to where I need to go? What do I need? Okay, I need more people who dream like me, who think like me, who can stretch and grow like me. I gotta surround myself with more people like that. All right, good. I need more confidence here. I need to develop more belief in my ideas and in my plans. I've got to do that. What else do I need to get to where I need to get to survive, to live? What do I need? Okay, I'm going to a new place. I need new skills. So this is what it is, inventory. Throw out what you don't need and what you need.
You must not be faked out when it's nice. You must think storm in the summer and not get faked out. And if you think storm, now you'll look for a rock on which to build your house. Now you're going to be safe. So you can't think nice when it's nice. You got to think storm when it's nice. The seasons are going to come and change. And if you're not educated to that degree, now you suffer a great loss. Now here's the next philosophy. The time to think positive is when it's negative. Why? Because the negative won't last long. How long is the winter? Isn't that long? Just hang on. It's not going to take that long. How long is the night? It's only a few hours. There's never been a double night. Couldn't you make it a few more hours? And the story says, yes, the night just can't last for. Sometimes it seems like it's going to last forever. And when you have insomnia, right, it seems like the night will never pass. But I'm telling you, sure enough, it will pass. So learn to think day when it's night. And then you must learn to think night when it's day. So you had to get it going, get it in before the night came. So this is a good idea now. Learn to think negative when it's positive. Learn to think storm when there is no storm. Learn to think winter in the summer. But then we must learn to think summer in the winter. We can make it through a few more hours, right? A few more days. It won't be that long. Hang in here. The spring will surely come. So the winters of life, learn to express those to other people, help them understand that as well as to try to understand it yourself. Now here's the next season, the spring. Spring is called opportunity. Not a guarantee. It's guaranteed the spring will come, but it's not a guarantee of a harvest. Here's the key. You must do something with the spring. Take advantage of the spring. Read every book you can get your hands on what to do with the springs of your life. Take advantage of the day, because the day follows the night. It's an opportunity now to turn things around. It's an opportunity to have a better one than the last one. It's an opportunity for a new beginning, a new spring, a new day, a new beginning. So spring is the chance to take advantage of another opportunity. Now, here's what you must do in the spring. It's a very short season usually. You must hurry. You wouldn't ask a farmer to go bowling in the spring. He hasn't got time. Why? The season is too short. The planting season is too short. You got to get it done fairly quickly. Now we call spring a window of opportunity. If you have a chance to talk to someone, the window's open. It may not stay open very long, so take advantage. Don't hesitate. Meet a new friend. Talk to somebody while the window's open. Now here's the season for everybody to understand because it is so applicable to our life, and that's the season of summer. Two things we must do in the summer: nourish our values and protect. Nourish like a mother, protect like a father. The twin challenges in the summertime help to illustrate life, that we are confronted with both good and evil. Here's one of the better realistic illustrations, and that's health and illness at odds in your body. Illness trying its best to drive health into a small corner and occupy the territory. And health trying what? To push illness into a small corner. There's this contest going on. Who's going to occupy the territory? If one stays strong, the other's diminished. If the other gains in power, then the other is diminished. So what you must learn to do is cooperate with the positive side of everything in your body and your life. Sometimes we sabotage our own best interest. Because if we get weak, I'm telling you, it moves in, takes the territory. In the middle of this contest, here's what it's called: opposites in conflict. Good, evil, liberty, tyranny, right? Health, illness, winning and losing, right? There's the struggle going on. But here's the key. It's the only way, it seems, it's the only way to create a human adventure. It doesn't seem to be any other way currently. It seems like to create an adventure, to create a unique human scenario, we need opposites in conflict. And it's the only way to have a civilized society. And we've got to fight these skirmishes. We've been fighting them forever. We've got to fight them forever. Whether they're inside your own body or whether they're in politics, no matter where they are. We must play this game. We must fight this game. But here's what it creates: a great adventure. Let me give you the ultimate now. Could you win if you couldn't lose? And the answer is no, it doesn't seem like it. You couldn't call it winning. You can't win if you couldn't lose. So that's the deal now. Negative, positive. Would there be negative, positive without negative? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this is the current setup, for the foreseeable future. It looks like it's been that way as long as we can remember and as long as the history tells us. So here's what you want to do if you want the adventure. You must learn to play this game, to work with all the positive forces to defeat the negative forces as early and as soon and as much as possible. To contain the ravages of disease that want to take you early. You got to fight back. You can't just leave it. Somebody says, well, I got my fingers crossed. Not a good philosophy. You got to take your vitamins. You got to do the stuff. You got to do the deal. Jump on the positive side of whatever you want and see if you can't help out in this warfare and this push-shove match. That's the key. So in the summer, here's what you must do. Nourish the plants and the garden. Nourish your values like a mother. Give life. Whatever you start now, you must nourish it and give it life. Don't neglect a new life if you started a new life. What if you said to a brand new mother, where is your baby? She says, I have no idea. You would say, no, that isn't right. If you start a new life, you must care for it. You must protect it. You must give it life, give it nourishment. Now here's the other part. You must protect it like a father. That's why the old wise man said, we must learn to love and hate. And the illustration he used was, you must learn to love good and hate evil. To deal with the weeds in your garden, you've got to hate weeds. You've got to hate them enough to what? Kill them. You can't say, well, poor weeds. Say, no, this ain't the deal, poor weeds. So, learn the good evil. Now, here's the greatest battle in the mind. Here's what you must not become in the summer in your mind. A victim of yourself. What is that insidious voice inside your own head that says, you're too short, it'll never work for you, you're too tall, right? It's over for you. Right? It's never worked for you before. What gives you any idea that it'll work for you now? You've never been able to rise up and take charge of your life. What makes you think you can do it now? There's going to be too many obstacles out there. You'll never overcome them all. What is that insidious voice? It's the same game going on inside your head that's going on in the world. Liberty and tyranny in a push-shove match. And here's what you've got to do. Cooperate with the positive side of your life and let faith drive out doubt. Right? Let winning drive out losing. Let positive drive out negative. But you've got to get into the contest. And why get into the contest? Because that's how you create an adventure. There is no other way. It takes both. You've got to learn to laugh, yes, but that's not what the wise men only said. You can't just learn to laugh and keep on laughing. No, that's silly. It says there's also a time to cry. You've got to learn to both laugh and cry. Then it said you must be so sophisticated as not to laugh when it's time to cry. Learn to cry with those that cry. That now gives you an understanding of what life is all about. Sadness and joy. The contest. The difference. And yet it creates the adventure. But here's the adventure. To overcome the evil. To put evil in its place. Just like in your mind, you've got to stand guard at the door of your mind. And see if you can't suppress. See if you can't do battle with the negative forces. Don't become a victim of yourself. Beware of the thief on the street that's after your purse. But also beware of the thief in your mind that's after your promise. See if you can't engage in this mental contest and win the day. That's the summer. Now here's one more season. And that's the season of harvest. Here's the key to remember harvest time. In due season, in due time. When it's time. Part of this is to develop the patience. So that when it's time, it will come. But you cannot be impatient. Patience is part of the game here. You can't plant the seed and 2 or 3 days later dig around and say, where's my crop, where's my crop? You say, no, come on, that's foolish. We'll take you away to some safe place. You got to plant and wait and exercise patience. And then when it comes time, you give it nourishment and you give it care and you give it protection. And then you got to wait some more and you got to wait some more and you got to wait some more.
You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. It takes courage to pursue your dream. Most people are not willing to pay what it costs.
Do you remember when Jesus passed by the fig tree and cursed the fig tree? Did Jesus really just curse the fig tree because he was hungry? No, he cursed the fig tree because it broke the law. He cursed the fig tree because the fig tree was receiving and not giving. Why would you be in the ground and keep growing and growing and growing and not expect to give nothing back to what's given to you? You're giving to what's giving to you. And any time you break the law, it will die. If you marry somebody and they keep giving to you, and you don't give anything back to them, I guarantee you the marriage is cursed. Anything that feeds you, you must feed it. You bless what's blessing you. You help what's helping you. You pour into what's pouring into you. Everything operates that way. Of everything I've ever accomplished, I've been all over the world. I've got all kind of trophies and Grammys. The thing I'm most proud of is that I took care of my mother till she died. It is by far the thing that I'm most proud of. And the reason is that I got to prove to her I would do for you what you did for me. That is a wonderful thing. So I cleaned her sometimes and fed her sometimes. And when I didn't do it, I paid to have it done to make sure that she was taken care of. Because when I was a baby, she washed me and I threw up on her and I peed on her and she still loved me anyway because I want to feed what was feeding. It says something about your character when you give back to something that gave to you. Whatever you throw at your parents, your kids are gonna throw at you. You cannot sow disrespect and reap honor. You cannot sow greed and reap prosperity. You feed what's feeding you. Some people are eating one place and sowing. How in the world can you be eating over here and sowing over there? How can I be your wife, washing your drawers, cooking your food, and Hootie over there getting your money? If anybody was going to get a watch, it should have been me. If anybody was going to get a ring, it should have been me. If I give to you, why would you not give to me? Don't you sit up in the restaurant and eat and belch and wipe your mouth and get them walk away like you got amnesia. Because when the fig tree did that, God cursed it. For it failed to produce on the level that it took. Simple. You cannot draw 60% and produce on a 30% level. Some people are better takers than givers. Give on the level that you draw from. What areas in your life are you underfunding and over-expecting? Are you expecting more out of a career than what you're willing to study for? Do you realize you can't come once a month and get what you need? My tree died. It wasn't that I didn't feed it. I just didn't feed it often. I gave it water when I gave it a chance, and little by little, the little green things just fell off. And I had to hide it because it looked bad. But the way it looked was a result of how I treated it. Don't overextend yourself beyond your willingness to invest. Don't take 5 dogs, 3 cats, and a poodle when you know you are not going to take care of them.
Here's the key. Whatever you feed is going to grow. If you feed guilt, it's going to get bigger. If you feed fear, it's going to become larger. What if you spent that same energy feeding your faith, feeding your dreams? What are you allowing in your spirit? The people you're spending time with, the thoughts you're dwelling on all day, is that inspiring you, or is it junk food, feeding you guilt, causing you to compromise? A friend of mine was diagnosed with a serious illness. The doctor put him on a very strict diet. Now, I asked him if he was going to do it. He said, "What do you mean, am I going to do it? My life depends on it." Today, I'm putting you on a new diet. No more junk food. No more dwelling on thoughts of worry. I don't have what it takes. No more hanging around people that are feeding you negativity. Your prescription is for faith food. Feed your hopes, feed your dreams, feed your destiny. Quit feeding the insecurity. That's not on your diet. When you feed your value will get stronger. I have some flowers in my backyard. One summer it was very dry. The sprinkler system couldn't keep up. So every afternoon I'd go out and water those flowers with my hose. 40 feet away over in the corner, there were a bunch of weeds. I noticed a few weeks later, all those weeds had died off. My flowers were just as beautiful as can be. What you don't feed will eventually die. You may have some weeds in your life today. We all do. Don't be alarmed by the weeds. Just don't make the mistake of watering the weeds. What you quit watering will eventually go away. If you came over to my backyard and saw me out there watering the weeds, you would think, what is wrong with that man? Are you watering what you don't want? When thoughts tell you nothing good is in your future, it's all downhill from here, instead of watering that weed, water what God says about you. Father, thank you that the path of the righteous, my path, gets brighter and brighter. Thank you that you've surrounded me with your favor. Feed your faith. I'm coming out. God always causes me to triumph. This too shall pass. Maybe you've had bad breaks in life and things haven't turned out the way you had hoped. Don't feed the self-pity. Quit reliving the hurts. You can't feed your history and feed your destiny at the same time. What's happened to you is over and done. How you were raised, who hurt you, who you lost, that's history. It may not have been fair, but God is fair. He knows how to make it up to you, but you have to let go of what didn't work out. If you're feeding the hurts, feeding the betrayal, it's just like you're watering resentment, watering bitterness. The way to get past it is you have to starve it. Quit thinking about what you didn't get, how you can prove to them that they shouldn't have left you. If you will put that same energy into your destiny, then God will give you beauty for those ashes. You don't have to pay anybody back. God will be your vindicator. The scripture says offenses will come. Betrayals will come. It's painful enough when they happen. But if you make the mistake of feeding the fear, feeding the hurt, then it's going to continue to be painful. That's making it worse. It's tempting to hold on. Sometimes you wake up, it's on the forefront of your mind. You have to ask yourself, am I going to keep putting energy into something that's taken me the wrong direction? And you go through a loss. You don't have to be superhuman, but you can't let a season of mourning turn into a lifetime of mourning. Yes, I'm disappointed. Yes, I'm hurt. But this is a new day. I'm not feeding my history anymore. I'm not dwelling on my disappointments. I'm putting my energy into my destiny. You may have had some disappointments in the past, but this is a new day. God is about to release His favor in a new way. Doors are going to open that you never dreamed would open. Now do your part. Keep feeding your faith. Stay on your diet. No more feeding doubt. No more mourning over what didn't work out. Don't use your energy to feed your history. Use your energy to feed your destiny.